Hello, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're joining from. God bless you. Really, I want to share a video that I saw, and I listened to it. I'm thinking, I would like to really share this and want to hear from you what you think. The former private secretary to Princess Diana was asked some questions. I don't want to go into details because I want to leave you suspense so that you listen to it yourself. Then at the end of it, we just reason together and let me know what you think. So I'm going to share this video with you where he was being interviewed or chat with, and all that he had to say. There was just so much, I believe, that was so coded in what he was saying. So much was coded there. And I feel he's not saying so much, but there was some truth. From the UK.
Kings of the Jungle, Anton Deck, as well as Lionel Richie and the magician Dynamo, are among the celebrities who've made the guest list to the coronation of King Charles on Saturday.
The King, of course, will be crowned alongside his second wife, Camilla, who's found it tough to win over the British public, although she's getting there, after being seen as a disruptor in the King's first marriage to the People's Princess Diana. Joining us now is the former private secretary to Diana, Patrick Jeffson, who, of course, has very, very powerful and very fond memories of
And you're not, as you sat down, you said, I'm not going to take the pledge of allegiance to the King. And you also have you've had a good relationship with the King in the past, haven't you?
Yes, absolutely.
So why not?
Well, it's not a personal thing, Richard. It just feels to me un-British.
I agree with you.
And I think it's divisive. You know, from now on, did you take it, didn't you? Immediately, we're off on a divided foot. I mean, it's not really very unifying.
It's also a bit embarrassing, isn't it, to sit in your TV lounge, as it were, and say it to the telly.
I think already there are thousands of people who serve the crown without having to take any fancy oath of allegiance. They just get on with it.
We just don't
in
do
their
that,
lives.
do we? We just don't do that.
You know, the armed forces, the emergency services. We don't need people to tell us, you've got to say this.
Now, not surprisingly, the concept of Queen Camilla, not even Queen Consort, but Queen Camilla on Saturday, leaves you with mixed feelings, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, I've got nothing against Camilla personally. I think, you know, I'm sure that she does the best she can in the circumstances she finds herself in. My concern, and it's rather more to do, I suppose, with relations between the monarchy and the media. If you look back at the history of Camilla's royal career, I mean, sadly, it's buried in very unhappy roots. I know that better than anybody, probably. People would say to me, do you know Camilla? I said, well, no, but I mean, I kind of knew all about her and lived with her because working for Princess Diana, of course you knew about Camilla. Of course you knew the effect that Camilla's existence had on Princess Diana.
Well, as you say, you know that better than anybody. And how did that... I mean, we've watched The Crown, we've seen the interview, we've read the book. You were there in the room with Princess Diana, as she must have explained how she was.
But I think what matters more today, and I mean, there'll be lots of people to say, oh, it was all an awfully long time ago, which is a funny thing to say at the time of a coronation, but people do say it was a long time ago. We've all got to move on. What concerns me more is the way in which, in order to reinvent Camilla, no longer the secret mistress, no longer Mrs. Parker Bowles, but Her Majesty the Queen. That's a heck of a journey.
What do you think the late Queen would have made of it? Because she made it quite clear before she died that she expected the title to be Queen Consort, not Queen.
Yes, and I think in that sense, the late Queen, like the rest of us, has been rather innocently, no doubt, misled about what Camilla was and what she was going to be called and what her future role was going to be. If you look at the history of it, it is a history of no doubt benign, but very effective half-truths. I was looking just yesterday at a cutting from, I think from the year 2000. Prince Charles's private secretary was complaining to the Press Complaints Commission because they'd written a story saying that Charles was going to marry Camilla and the palace was denying it. And I think this led to the start of the idea that you can't be absolutely sure something's true until Buckingham Palace has denied it. And that whole culture, that environment where people couldn't believe what the palace was telling them. And I think we're seeing the hangover of that now with people's very, very reserved views about Camilla. Just today's poll, she's on 39% positive view. Diana's on 63. You know, the top three people, two of them are dead.
What do you think is going to happen on and just after Saturday? Because we have a sort of a habit in this country, don't we, of sneering a little bit and being a little bit, oh, I don't care that much about these big, big state occasions. And then when they happen, we go mad for them. We go absolutely mad for them. Do you think it's going to be the same with the coronation?
Oh, yes. I mean, monarchy, royalty is theatre.
Yeah.
I mean, it is the visible part of the Constitution. I live in America now, and what people miss in America is this idea of the pomp and circumstance. People love it. And, you know, I've got a military background. I love seeing the services out doing their wonderful, fantastic duty. I mean, and it's a very tough duty on the day. So people will, of course, enjoy the spectacle. I will enjoy it. It is a wonderful thing. It is a constitutional celebration. Look, we've got a new head of state, and there wasn't a riot. There's no tear gas, no water cannon. It's all just happened. And, OK, it's not a popularity contest. It's not even democratic. But it suits the British system.
Yeah. Do you think the monarchy is... I mean, Owen suggested that polls show that it is not going to last many more decades. Do you think so?
Well, I'm a lot older than Richard, but I can remember the Stuff the Jubilee. Do you remember Stuff the Jubilee?
Yes, I do remember that, actually.
There have always been opponents. I mean, Charles I had his head chopped off in Whitehall. So, you know, it can happen again. Not perhaps the execution, but...
Interesting caveat.
Not perhaps the execution, but if the royal family lost public support significantly, that would be reflected in politics.
I must ask you this before we run out of time. If we could bring Diana back for a while, what would she make of what's happened with Harry? What would she say about it, do you think?
Well, I think she would, as any mother, I hope would, I mean, she would be the first to at least try to understand what's motivating him, what's concerning him, what's upsetting him. From my observation, Harry is upset. He's angry about the way the two most important women in his life have been treated, his wife and his mother. Now, we can disagree with that or debate whether he's right or wrong, but that's how he strikes me. He's an angry man. And I'm sure that Diana, who had an unconditional, unbounded love for her children, but had her own experience, too, of dealing with hostile media, difficult royal family, a lot of difficult personal choices. I think she is greatly missed, not just by Prince Harry.
I mean, it's ironic, isn't it, Richard? Because you say, if we could bring Diana back, what would she think? But of course, a huge part of what Harry feels and his grievance is because she died. And she died as the car was being chased by paparazzi on bikes.
Yes, and she died because she had entrusted her safety to people who were not competent to look after her. We shouldn't forget that. I was at the inquest. It's not the paparazzi, it's how you deal with the paparazzi.
No, I know that, but that's what Prince Harry feels.
Yes.
He feels that because she was being chased by paparazzi,
they killed her.
That her death was the result of that. That's part of his grievance, isn't it? That's
I'm sure it is.
What is such a lingering.
Well, that's what her brother said on the day that she died.
Yeah.
I always feared that the press would kill her, and they have.
Yes.
That's how he saw it, and probably still does.
Yeah.
Fascinating talking to you.
It's so good to talk to you. Thank you very much indeed.
So, here we are with this situation. I wonder what you think about it. What do you think about this discussion? You know, this talk kind of just brought some things to my mind, that what Harry was saying during the documentaries and the books, I mean, the interview he had. You could see everything that he kind of confirmed it in a way. Okay, let's go to this section where he talked about Camilla. People say, oh, Harry called Camilla valiant, wicked woman, all kind of name, you know, that could have been used, that he used. We see, I could understand. I know if you're in his shoe, or if you could just, in a moment, choose to listen. I want to let me just take the position of Harry for a moment. Harry and William for a moment. Prince Harry, Prince William, yeah. So let me just take their position for a moment. This is their mother, married to Prince Charles then. And when married to Prince Charles, there was another woman who was coming in between the relationship of their mother and their father, okay? Yes, it was with the permission of Prince Charles. She wouldn't just do it without him pulling on it, okay? Let's not forget that. Then here we go. She's there and she won't leave. She will say, well, let me get out of this. It become public, she will still move until then Princess Diana felt, okay, I can't handle this. I can't deal with this anymore. Perhaps she would say, well, Camilla was married to Parker Ball at that time. I think the name was Andrew Parker Ball, the husband then. She should just focus on her own marriage with her children, you know, and leave me and Charles alone here. But it didn't happen, to the point where she has to decide to move on and leave the relationship. In the UK, most people loved Diana. I mean, they just love her. She was just charming. She was just natural person. And she was loved. She was the beloved princess. You know, I think maybe she, I don't know, she might be the most beloved princess in the UK forever. I mean, you just heard, he said the poll, when the poll stood, as at the time, I think as at the time, the poll as at now was 39 for Camilla and 63, I think it was 63 or 62 for Diana, Princess Di. And this was someone that has died about 25 years ago, I believe. The poll shows her to be 60-something, and the one alive, 39. I mean, come on. That tells you the power that she carried even after death. Just to think about, Father, when she was alive, people just love her. People just love her. If you see the video, you were there, you just see the flowers that just was all over Kensington then in the UK. You just see it, you know, when you watch the video of Diana's during her death and just see the people that were just trooping. So you see that she was loved. She was really loved and still loved. So for Harry and Prince Harry and Prince William to know that these people, these people that were married, this woman came in and broke the relationship, then left her own marriage and then come to Charles. I mean, everybody deal with issues differently. Maybe William is able to put it behind him and just Prince William and just keep living. Or now and again, he thinks about it and say, wow, this was a woman. Especially now that she's going to be queen, it's possible for both of them to be thinking, that would have been my mom now. My mom would have been the Queen of England. See, you know, that they have to struggle through every event or in their life for the rest of their lives that would have brought, you know, that would have how I'm looking for the right word here. Every event that happens in their life that would have included their mother will always bring out so many things if they have not dealt with it. Even if you're forgiven, it will still bring it back to your mind. It's like, wow, well, I've forgiven her. Let her just enjoy herself. It's fine. Or you feel bitter and very angry because you have not been able to let it go or forgive, and you still feel the pain. Sometimes when you forgive, you can still feel the pain until you just ask God to help you and heal you. You still feel the pain, you know? So that is a problem to Harry, that you're there. And then, like he said, he was used as villain to renovate, or what's her name, Camilla, back to the public, to be accepted, to be loved. And you hear him say that as well, for that it must be a hell of work for them to be able to convince people to bring Camilla to become a queen. And before the queen died, Queen Elizabeth has said they have to call her queen consort. I'm thinking, is it because she died that they just changed it? Or was it that she already agreed for her to be called a queen? But it's difficult to just come to the public and say, well, I hope when she died, she hoped the British people will accept her as a queen. She knew that's too heavy. That would be heavy for the British, for British to take in. You know, you can't just throw that to us like that, boom. You know, you can't throw that to the people all over the world like that. Even those who love her, love the queen. So they have to come soft. He said, you know, they had said they were not going to be married. And he said, when the Buckingham denies something, just know that's the truth. Now they were married. She go from mistress to wife, not to queen consort, not to queen. So it was a progression. They didn't want to just say it out because people would just revolt against them. They don't want that. So they had to take it little by little. So I believe personally, I have, maybe I might be wrong, this is just my own opinion, that the queen, it's possible she knew about it. It's possible it was already agreed, but she was going to come soft on the people, the queen consort. Then later, you give it to them as a queen, and nobody's going to fight it. What can you do? So here we are. So what was your thought about all that you heard him say? Diana's death started from the affair from Queen, sorry, not the Queen, Prince Charles and Camilla. So if she wasn't there, perhaps Diana would have stayed in the relationship. There was no third party, because I remember one of what she said was they were crowded. You know, that there was a crowded relationship. It wasn't just two, it was crowded. So she couldn't go ahead with it. So it's possible that she just said, well, you know what? I'm done. I'm done here. I can't handle this. I can't handle this. I just want to move on. So if she was not there, maybe their relationship would have worked. Or they would have just decided to, you know, be together until now. You know, it's possible so. But because Camilla was there, she decided to move on with her life. And that led to her not having the right, I think the protection that she got when she was, when the palace was taken over from her, and then led to, well, kill her, you know, the press that won't let her rest. So Harry is not happy with the press because they know they were part of, you know, the reason of her mother's death. I mean, sorry, his mother's death. So what is your thought on that? What is your thought? Harry talked about the royal family was the difficult in a way. They didn't use that word, but what happens in the royal family? It's a difficult relationship. Meghan has experienced it as well. So this Patrick Jefferson said the same thing, that it's a difficult royal family, you know? So Harry was not lying. The fact that the press and the royal family were he said something in that line as well. So you just see and the way to reinvent the reinventing of Camilla as well, you know, or that he took. And Harry said that he was like a scapegoat or like villain that was used to reinvent Camilla. So, you know, so yeah, these are two different people, and they said this. So I don't know what you think, but this was just going through my mind, like, wow, these are some of the things that Harry is talked about and still talking about, you know. So what do you think? Do you think he should, do you think it was Diana's fault that she left the marriage, or What's your view in all of this? Are you going to be making allegiance to the king on television as you watch it? Are you going to be on the streets to join and celebrate the coronation of King Charles III? Or are you just going to stay home or go about your business and do what you always want to do on the Saturday? It's this Saturday, and it's coming so fast. Anyway, thank you for hearing my own part of it. Let me know what you think. Leave us a comment, like, share, and click the notification button so that when we have something new, you'll be able to hear it. You have a blessed and a wonderful day. See you next time. Thank you.